Hit the field, blast off, watch them all fall. This is AFC North talk. Got me hype, it's about to be a touchdown. Got the Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, and the Browns. Are you listening? It's time to get it hype. Tune in when the season poppin'. Yeah, we going live. Hey, knock 'em out. Ay, first down, going hard. Yes, indeed. AFC North talk. Let's go. Hey, AFC North talk.
There's no way. There's no way. There is no way.
Oh, they lost to two teams that had 4 combined wins.
They made history. They make history.
Matt Canada's the issue, man.
Hey, dog. Hey. We put up 400 yards versus the Bengals. We put up 400. How many points, though? How many points? Hey, you had more points this week with Mitchell. Like,
Crazy. That is crazy.
woo! Hey, here we go.
Making history, not the history you want to do.
Oh,
Losing back to back to
Oh.
a win team this late in the season.
hey, but Sonny, you have to understand that Bill Belichick's still one of the greatest coaches of all time. Hey, how many points did the Patriots score last week versus one of the worst defenses in the NFL, the Chargers?
I think they put a goose egg.
They lost 6-0.
Yeah.
No, ain't no way. Zach man put up 21 on you.
Zach.
Zappy. Zap.
In front of everybody, you lost that game, dog. That embarrassment last week was hit it on a 1 o'clock on a Sunday. You did that shit in front of Al Michaels. You made Al Michaels watch. You should be ashamed of yourself, Pittsburgh. Al Michaels like you're talking about Mason Rudolph.
Cute. Have we talk about what is one of the biggest advantage in the NFL? It's a Thursday night home.
Home on Thursday night to a 2-win team.
Home.
2-win team. Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I need to know, where are y'all at? Are y'all, here we go? Come on, here we go, nation. Where's Here We Go Nation? Where they at, man? Look, Steelers fans are always here when they win. You remember they were here. They were here after that Bengals win, weren't they? They were ready. Yep. They were here. Super Bowl. We got 2 layups in front of us. Call them J.R. Smith on a fast break. They smoking them layups, big dog. That's crazy to me.
They hit the gritty. They was in the grit. They was doing the gritty at Paul Brown and all of that. They was doing all of that over that game.
Oh, they was back. Look, I would like to know, Steeler fans, Steeler Nation. Oh, we got one Steelers International. He's only here because he ain't here. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is.
Both L's got to be capital in there.
Yeah. You Steelers Nation International. In respect, because at least you're here. You're here.
You know what I mean? Can we get a Here We Go Steelers in the chat? Come on, Here We Go Nation. Hey, by the way, I think this is a perfect example of why the Steelers should give Kenny Pickett $250 million in the offseason, because the kid's clearly a winner. He's clearly a winner, man. Look, they'd be 9-4 with Kenny Pickett. They might have the 1 seed. Kenny Pickett. So if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, the only responsible thing to do is to sign that man to a contract and get him a coach that can coach him offense. Get this Mike Tomlin defense garbage out the way. You know who you need to hire? There's a young man out of USC that's now going to be free. Cliff Kingsbury. Hire Cliff Kingsbury, man. That's the next successor. You know what I mean? Get that offense.
In an AFC North.
Oh, yeah. Hire Cliff Kingsbury.
And he has Allen Robinson.
All his favorite things. Yes. Yeah. By the way, Pittsburgh fans, understand this. This ain't just this year. Y'all, this is what your quarterback situation gonna look like for a while, because you ain't drafting nobody this year. You might get somebody in the second round that's about to be what Mason Rudolph is. Y'all out here begging for Mason Rudolph because his numbers are comparable to Kenny Pickett's.
That was crazy. That's
what I'm saying.
Where we at, y'all? Where you at? We looking for him. We looking for
Check,
the Steelers. Where
check
they
the
at?
license plates. Check the license plates. We're all Steelers fans. Can you tell me? Can you report in any Pennsylvania license plates in the chat? I can't see them. And you know what else is hilarious about this whole thing? They are begging for Mason Rudolph because they're like, hey, man, his stats are pretty comparable to Kenny Pickett's. You know who Kenny Pickett's stats are comparable to? Cody Kessler. All right? Like,
Mr.
they out here
Cody.
hoping for Cody. They out here begging for Cody Kessler.
Crying with the terrible towel, wiping the tears away. That's what the description is saying.
I'm gonna tell you what I talked to a couple of Steelers fans, and they say, "Sonny, that was rough." And they say, "But if KP was there, I think we win." And then the other thing I heard was Tomlin. We need to fire Tomlin.
Can't be talking about Kenny Pickett.
They're talking about that we need to fire Tomlin. These people that I talk, they're like, they need to fire Tomlin.
Fire Tomlin. That's it. It was just fire Matt Canada. Now it's fire Tomlin. It's not.
Hey,
it's not that
how many coordinators do you get to fire before you start to be pointed at? That's all I'm saying. You usually get 2. Hey, how many did Marvin get? How many did Marvin get before people start?
Got like 17, dog. He got like 17. But here's the thing, bro. Like, none of us would think that the Steelers would have the record that they have right now with these circumstances. Like, you wanting to get rid of Tomlin is crazy, honestly, because nobody would have that record that you guys have right now.
But imagine, come with me if you will, what the Pittsburgh Steelers would look like with Cliff Kingsbury.
Ooh.
Yeah. With
Allen Robinson. Mm-hmm. A high-powered offense. You know what I mean? Trade TJ Watt for some pieces on offense. You know what I mean? Trade TJ Watt for a tight end. That's what you need. Another tight end. Yeah. You know what I mean? Get Chase Claypool back. Hey, the Steelers ain't been the same offensively since Chase Claypool got traded. That's all I'm saying.
Those are facts. Those are facts. Look.
Ooh, boy, y'all in hell. I told y'all when the pick got in. I was on the extreme end of this conversation, Ace, wasn't I? When I was like, I feel like people are assuming he's going to be Andy Dalton, but I don't think people understand it is hard to find Andy Dalton. What is most likely that you end up drafting is Sam Darnold. Or when you in the 20s, you know what you can end up drafting? Paxton Lynch. Okay, like you can end up with
that's why I call it the Andy Dalton experience, because you're gonna be good enough where you're gonna win games like you are now, 7-6, right? You probably, maybe, I don't know if you're going to the playoffs. I don't know. Right now they're
out.
But you're not gonna have a top 10 pick. You're not gonna have. You're probably gonna be in the 20s. You're probably gonna be in the 20s, and like Q was saying, you're not gonna have a good quarterback to pick from. The craziest thing though is we called this. Not just this year. We called this years ago, back in 2019, when the Steelers made the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade. What did we all sit up here and say? We said, dog, Ben is about to be on his last leg. Y'all need to start getting ready for the future. They could have had the likes of Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts, all of these guys, right? They were like, nah, we're good. We're going to sit with Ben. Then the next year, they didn't take the quarterback. Then they end up with Kenny Pickett, dog. In the next year's draft, if you're not picking one of those top 2 guys or top 3 guys, it's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap. So
another thing we need to bring up. They made all these win now moves getting Minkah Fitzpatrick. They ain't won a playoff game since 2017.
That's nasty.
Did you like? Did it actually? Like, I understand Minka's a good player.
Quarterback, dog.
But is he going to ever play a meaningful game for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Is he ever going to win a meaningful game for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Not the way it's looking. So what was that trade really for? Real question to ask.
The basement of the AFC North for the next couple of years to get used to it.
It's sad to see TJ Watt become the Steelers version of Joe Thomas.
People gonna start wanting out, man. I don't know.
Hey, man. Hey, they gotta console George Pickens every play. They got to chew about, do something with them. This is not a team in a good place, by the way. Like, they don't like each other. They don't like the offense. Najee Harris is advocate. It's not good. You look at the other teams. Hey, look, say what you want about the Bengals. They seem pretty together as a team right now.
Yeah.
Say what you want about the Browns. They seem pretty together as a team right now. The Steelers don't seem nothing like that. And if you don't think that's true, they just lost to 2-2-win teams at home, yo. At home. What they about to do when they go on the road? Against CJ Stroud or against Shane Steichen next week. What they about to do? They already lost to CJ Stroud. My bad. What they about to do? Nah.
He got blown out too. That was nasty.
That's all I'm saying is like there are problems ahead for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, and look, I understand that we're used to saying Mike Tomlin this and Pittsburgh this and that. Hey man, if Bill Belichick can be 2 wins, Mike Tomlin can have bad seasons too, right? Like it just is what it is. Like I don't think Tomlin magic's going to be enough to carry you through here because it seems like you got some real problems, as let's be honest, have been bubbling under the surface for a while. Wide receiver issues been bubbling under the surface for a while. Whatever reason, y'all can't find a wide receiver that y'all like in that room, the attitude or whatever it is. Y'all can't find nobody. Team don't get along. Team don't like what they doing. Team always bitching about the offensive coordinator. Maybe it ain't the offensive coordinator. How many offensive coordinators can they fire? Well, how many
started with Ty Haley? Remember Ty Haley?
Yeah.
Remember I want Ty Haley now. I bet you want Ty Haley now.
I'm sure.
Hey, they keep firing these offensive coordinators just to end up in the same spot. They've been mediocre since 2017.
Look, they have.
Thing we said too, bro, was we were talking about the AFC North or just the AFC in general was loading up at quarterback. Remember we said that? And we said in the future there's going to be more. Now you got CJ Stroud. Now you got Trevor Lawrence. Now you got Deshaun Watson who got traded to the division. Now you got Lamar Jackson. Now you got Pat Mahomes. Now you got probably somebody else coming next year.
Wait till Anthony Richardson come out that shoulder sling. Well, wait till some NFC team talks himself out of Caleb Williams and he ends up on the Jets. Like, wait until these
on the Patriots. He was saying the Patriots.
Well, the Steelers did help us out on that front, right? The Steelers did do their thing on that front. Thank you for giving them a win.
The Patriots still second place.
The
they didn't lose anything.
They didn't lose anything. Yep.
The Bears could end up having the first and second pick of the draft. I still think they're gonna mess it up. I still think they're gonna mess it up.
By the way, the rumor is that the Bears like me, and I'm here looking at. You already did the North Carolina quarterback. What are you doing?
They get nostalgic. They get nostalgic. I'm telling you right now. It smacks me in the face. There is nobody to draft other than Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison. You will figure it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Marvin Harrison is nasty.
I don't care what your beef is with Caleb Williams. I promise you can figure that out. Like, he can throw the football like, okay, you gonna figure that out. I promise you. The Ravens figured out whatever beef everybody had with Lamar Jackson. Like, you can figure it out. It ain't that deep. It's football. Draft a dude that can do the football the best. And let me tell you, nobody in this draft class does football better than Caleb Williams. But I 100% believe that somebody's going to talk themselves out of that. And that means that he's going to end up in the AFC.
By the way, this is the next 4 for the Steelers. The Colts that need a win, right? The Colts are battling for a playoff position.
It are a well-run team.
Yeah. The Bengals, right? So the Bengals can dunk on them.
The Bengals are getting swept.
And then Seattle Seahawks also fighting for a position
in
Seattle.
In Seattle.
And then they finished to the Ravens. That game, it all depends if it matters to the Ravens or not. But
it don't matter. Hey, look. Remember RG3 beat them when they needed to win that one?
That is true. You know what? It might be fitting.
The difference between running Tyler Huntley out there versus the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, it's still the same thing. The Ravens are going to have the better quarterback in that game. Am I joking?
No.
Like,
no, there was you made a comment.
It could be Mason Rudolph. I don't get Tyler Huntley's probably a more effective quarterback.
If we talk about the game a little bit here, we're talking about Mitch Trubisky started this game trying to throw it to the Patriots. Like he threw a pick that was saved by the defensive pass interference.
He said, "Nah, bro." It's like the LeBron meme. He's like, "Okay, no, we'll get that. Hey, thank you for all the support. Let me hit y'all with 2 more."
Yeah, he was actively trying to throw this ball, and then the thing that look, Steelers fan, the thing that surprised me, it wasn't necessarily the offense was bad. We know this. We know that the offense was gonna be bad. But when you let Zappy drive in the first drive all the way for a tutty, right? And then you like kind of stop him for a little bit, and then he drove another way for a tutty. I'm like, I don't know if the Steelers can score 14, right? Like when the Patriots got to 14 points, I'm like, looks like it's a wrap. And then they got lucky on that bounce interception. By the way, shout out to Zeke Elliott because that should have been a pick six. And Zeke hustled his way to tackle the guy. And I'm like, look, here it is. Here's their chance. And they couldn't score. They could score 3. It was a lot of mistakes. And the other one, I don't know if you guys heard this one, but the whole false start on the punt, I have heard that like there's no tomorrow. Oh yeah, they called the full start, which I can see is a gray line, but that wouldn't change the. I mean, I understand that would have been a first down, but what has your offense done?
Well, do you know what? That's the story of the Steelers. That's how sorry of an organization they've been over the last few weeks. They celebrated a false start on a punt like they scored a touchdown. And you know what? Rightfully so. The refs saw that and went, "You're not giving you this shit no more. Get out of here, dog." Like, I know that's 100% what happened. You can't convince me otherwise because that was 100% a false start. I mean,
encroachment.
That was 100% encroachment. But you know what? The refs saw them do that and went, "Y'all embarrassing right now." Like, no.
Hey, punter, shut up, punter.
Yeah, out here like you for a false. Really? I'm changing that, dog. And you know how I know that's what they did? Same shit I would have done in that position. Like, you out of pocket for that. You out of pocket. I'm changing this call. You need to learn that lesson, young man. Out here celebrating. Have some shame. Have some shame. Have some professional pride and dignity. To rooting for a penalty call? Are you that sorry at punting? Nah, your defense is that sorry that you punting the ball to Bailey Zapp, and you think that getting that first down was so big that you got to celebrate it? How pathetic can you be? Nah, that's why. And it was a 3 and out by the Patriots anyway. I don't believe they scored for the rest of the game anyways. So it's like, you weren't getting the 20, Pittsburgh. That's the thing. False start, no false start. You weren't getting the 20. You know why? Because you're sorry on offense. You are the sorriest offense in the NFL. The Browns have had 6 quarterback changes this year. You're still sorrier than them.
The only quarterback that I can think that has started more games than the Steelers quarterback that has looked legitimately worse is Zach Wilson. Like, Zach Wilson is just atrocious. Other than Zach Wilson, I cannot name any other.
What you want? Zach Wilson to beat the Bills and the Eagles. Like,
it's kind of a Spider-Man meme kind of going on with Zach Wilson.
What you want? Zach Wilson to beat the Bills and the Eagles, which is
that's right.
Yeah, I mean, Katie Pickett ain't got nothing like that. Hey, remember when Zach Wilson was cooking against the Chiefs? Has Kenny Pickett ever looked like that?
Never.
No, never. It's not even close to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is like Sam Darnold. Like, you might get something every once in a while out of him. Kenny Pickett is worse than that. Kenny Pickett is the Brandon Whedon experience. This is he sucks. And now we got to watch this for 2 years. That's what it is, because we took him in the first. I know what it is, Steelers fans. I don't watch this shit before. So Brady Quinn, I had to watch the Brady Quinn experience, which was immediately he played in one game. I was like, he sucks. I guess I got to watch it for 2 years because we drafted him in the first round. Yes,
that is the question. If we are honest, that's the question. Is the Steelers ready to move from Kenny Pickett, or because Tomlin tends to hold to their first round pick until he can't no more, right? So
he can't no more. Can't no more.
Remember Artie Burns? Artie Burns kept getting cooked over there and the outside.
That quarterback, he hang with this shit for 2 more years. He will get fired. Okay,
that is true.
When I was watching this game and the Patriots scored 21, I was like, it's over. This game's over.
That's what I said at 14.
Have you watched the Steelers
when
this
Bailey
season?
Zapp made some of the most impressive throws that I have seen a quarterback make between the Steelers 3. I was like, oh yeah, they suck, dog. Like,
You
they
scored
suck.
20 points on the Steelers, you have won the game.
And here's the thing.
Won the game.
Here's the thing, Ace. I believe Mitchell Trubisky to be the better quarterback of the ones on the roster. Like, people think Mason Rudolph going to save something. I'm like, you got the best dude playing. Like,
and Mason Rudolph pants were crazy. Like, I'm like, y'all are down bad. Do you realize how down bad you are? If you have to cheer for Mason Rudolph,
that's when you know you're.
Hey, Mason Rudolph was on that sideline like, no thanks. No. Last time Mason Rudolph played in the Thursday night game, you saw he got that helmet on tight when it looked like he might go in because he's like, nah, man.
Didn't Kenny have a headset on? And then by like the third quarter, the headset was off.
No, the headset was off. People tweeted about it because it was tweeting about the shine, and then the headset came on magically. It's so goofy. It's so goofy what they got going on there.
Can you check Twitter?
Hey,
let's see. We have a couple super chats
here. Imagine being Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett out here trying to tell you who to go to when you see cover 2 on this mesh concept. What the hell he doing with the headset? He not telling you nothing you don't know. He Kenny Pickett.
No, did y'all see George Pickens' route tree like on Next Gen Stats?
No, I want to see it. What it look like?
It's nasty. Let me see.
Flat line.
It look like gang signs.
George Pickens. It's nasty.
It's so nasty, dog.
Oh, but Quincy, he was running so many routes in the preseason. You're wrong about them. How can you say this is the same?
Chase. I believe he said that George Pickens was better than Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is not the week to ever make that argument is dead. That argument is dead, dog.
Look at this.
Hey, he's running the Juju Smith-Schuster route tree. That's the Juju tree. That's the one mesh route over the middle, a hook over the seam, and then like 95 out routes. Yes.
That's it.
Did Tony see this coming, guys? Did Tony see this coming? Was this really a thing where Tony wanted to be a fan?
Hey, dog, Grant Canada could have been better than that, man. Come on, dog. What they...
This is nasty. This is
nasty. It's like when your mom or that family member got that messed up car that they don't want to take care of.
Oh,
and you're like a young kid, and they just pass it off to you like, "Hey, here you go.
Hey, you know,
here you go, guru."
You know when you play a kid at Madden and they don't know how to play like the quarterback position on there, so they can't stay in the pocket, make a read. They just like roll out and throw it to whoever's on the out. So that's literally the Steelers' offense right now. That's literally the Steelers' offense right now.
Nasty.
They play like a Madden player that subbed in Terrell Pryor back in the day. Like that's the only place that they run is runs it outside the way.
It was. Man. I mean, it is hard to watch. Like, you know what it is? I don't watch enough college
comedy after this one, son.
Yeah, I don't watch enough college football because it's specifically because this is the type of offense you watch it in college football usually, and now it's spilling to the NFL.
Look, to Pittsburgh fans who want to tell me, man, the Kenny Pickett was in there, it would have been different. All I have to counter this is, y'all didn't want to see McCorkle Jones, dog. Like, if young McCorkle was in there, he might have gave you 4. All right.
Woo. Anyway, here we have Ravens saying Bailey Brady or Tom Zappy.
Hey, they've lost the DTR, Kyler Murray 3 games off of what we thought was a 2-season ended injury. And then
Zappy.
Bailey Zappy. That's who. Remember how Steeler fans used to tell us these stupid Mike Tomlin stats as if they had anything to do with Mike Tomlin and more to do about them having a better quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger for most of that time? Oh, well, we don't lose versus backup quarterbacks. We have a great record versus rookie quarterbacks, Quincy. Mike Tomlin ain't going to let that happen. And what I say, the second Brady walked out the door in New England, all that shit went out the window for Bill Belichick. Why do you think it's going to be any different for Pittsburgh? It's not. You getting beat by Bailey Zapp and DTR right now. That's who you are. You're a team that everybody who's decent looks at and goes, oh, we could get them. I was talking to the homie UCF Jaguar today, and he said, you know who I want? I want them Steelers. I want them. They look like they stink. Like, that's who you are. You're the get right game. That's what you've been the last. You were the get right game for the Arizona Cardinals and the New England Patriots. That is who you are as an organization. Hey, orange, yellow is the new orange. You make all them jokes about the Ohio teams. You either die the Steelers or live long enough to see yourself become the Browns. And now the Pittsburgh Steelers, you now know what it's like to be the Browns because everybody looks at you as food. You are just food. Hey, Ace, you can't wait to play them. You can't wait to play them.
I cannot wait.
I cannot wait. Hey,
I was over there getting mad last night, like, bro.
You watch the Steelers, you go, yeah,
I know.
Yeah, boy. Hey, I wish we played them one more time. Miles could get the sack record. Like that's what you are, Pittsburgh. You're food now. People look at you as food. Nobody fears the colors. Nobody fears Renegade. Nobody fears the helmet or all this stuff. That shit's gone, dog. It's gone. Don't nobody care about none of that shit no more. You are just another bird. That's what you are. Another bird in the pond. And you're food to these predators out here. Food, I tell you. You're another chicken in a cage. All right, that's it. And you just waiting to get boiled.
The reality here is also you.
Got some tippy for y'all if y'all want to, wipe their tears off.
The reality is that you lost to two teams that are actively trying to tank. And they still couldn't lose to you because
what's worse is that the Patriots ain't even trying to tank. They just ass, right?
Remember Peppers.
That's what I'm saying. Remember Jabril Peppers last week? Hey, you're lucky we ass.
Yeah.
That team just beat you at home on a Thursday night. That is who you are, Pittsburgh.
2 in a row at home to two win teams, dog.
Oh, they played Renegade and y'all thought it was about to come back. It's not, dog. Ben not walking through that door. Hey, Joey Porter not walking through that door no more, dog. It ain't them days anymore. Troy Polamahu's not here anymore. You don't have Antonio Brown. You don't have Le'Veon Bell. You are just another franchise. Food, a chicken in the coop, waiting to get fried like the rest of them. That's it. That's who the Pittsburgh Steelers are. Enjoy your new future.
Yeah, a couple super chats here. Ravens Nation says the plastic curtain can contain Bailey Zappi. No more steel curtain. Alpha God says no. Don't give KP
aluminum curtain. That's what that shit is.
Don't give KP that. What? I'm assuming he's
no. Give KP that amount of money. Give KP $250.
He's like Garoppolo. He wins.
Yeah, he wins. You know what I mean? Well, Garoppolo got like $200 million. Why not, Kenny?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Ravens Nation here says Bengals and Browns fans today, you put aside our difference to launch at Steelers. Bailey Zappi got half as many touchdowns. No way. In that game as Kenny Pickett.
He got half as many touchdowns as Kenny has had all year in one half.
Yeah. Yes, because he had 3 and Kenny had 7. So yeah, almost half.
I'm pretty sure Hunter Henry got more touchdowns than him.
That's nasty. Oof, that's nasty. Gagan here says Burrow is stuck in the sidelines showing leadership. Lamar has season-ending. IBS Steelers are hilarious. Brown winning the division.
Hey man, what Lamar be eating in December, dog? Because every December, we talking about this man having illness. What does he be doing?
I don't know.
Is it a bad time? Like somebody has to cross-reference to see if this is a bad time of the year to be eating like what is it like? What do you call it? Oysters?
Crabs. People eat here crabs.
Yeah, no, not crabs. There's like this little shelled fish that people in Florida eat a lot of.
Crawfish?
Nah, not crawfish. That's like Louisiana. It's like it's like a Florida thing. Starts with an S.
Shellfish is.
No, it's like scallop or some shit like that.
Oh, scallops.
I don't know. Somebody in the comments. It's like a oyster, but it's long.
Yeah, scallops.
Yeah.
I think I'm talking about scallops.
Look, I'm gonna show you what I have here.
Or poutine?
You think that's what Lamar is doing?
Yeah, I think he eating some kind of seafood.
That thing?
No. It's like brown. It's like brown and long.
Oh.
Like a puka shell or some shit like that. I don't know.
Anyway, so Diddy says just here for Q's epic Steeler rant. Who they?
Ooh.
And then we have Yellow P Crawley says yellow, the new orange, still going 1-8.
Scallions. I think it's Scallions.
So this is a Steelers fan, I'm assuming, because he's saying that it still is going 8-1. So they're not going.
No. He's on the program because we're not about to predict under 500.
You
know what I mean?
Gotcha.
we still disciplined as a team. We're not about to go crazy here. We still predicted to win 8 or 9 games.
Yeah.
But hey,
wait, I'll say this. I think since Guru said the Browns are not gonna win any more games, they're gonna lose out. I think the Steelers haven't won since that moment.
Hey man, the standard is the standard.
Ray Ratchet says, welcome to both Steelers fans. You have now entered into your pre-2018 Browns era.
Hey
now
man, if you need any
on the entire AFC North.
Steelers fans, if you need any tips or tricks, I'll write a book for you. You know what I mean? How to deal with your team being bad, because it's getting there. You are about 2 firings and a bad quarterback choice away. Well, you're 1 firing and a bad quarterback choice away from being what you've made fun of your whole life. Just keep it real. That's what you are. Hey, better hit on this next quarterback.
You're right. Hey, can you read these next 2 super chats? I'll be right back.
Yeah, your name Hate Tree said in one of his videos that the Browns are looking like the factory of sadness again. Not Uno, Corvette.
How are people like hitting Browns factory of sadness jokes? They're 7-5. I haven't understood this all year. People have been like on this, LOL Browns. We're 7-5. And we look good doing it.
Definitely not time to hit that button.
Yeah.
At all.
Meanwhile, he's still a fan.
Go ahead.
I said, meanwhile, your Dade Trees is still a fan. He better worry about his own house.
Yeah, he got to. He was the biggest Steelers fan wannabe ever. I love when all the Steeler wannabes come out to this.
Oh, no, Ace, let me read that because I think I can give a better context to what he's trying to say here. Q is the biggest Steelers fan wannabe ever. I love it. It's the best franchise. Mom, get the hot pocket.
Bray Rags, $5 super chat. Guru was going through it in those Twitter spaces before the game was even over. He called Mike Tomlin Brandon Staley. He did. He said he was an African American Brandon Staley.
You said African American? He was in terms?
It was. And the funny thing was, is Tony was in there, and as soon as that comment was made,
he was out.
Tony was in spaces.
Yes, he was. I did see him in there.
Hey, Tony was like, it's 3rd and long. We need to punt this talk.
Look, I think Ace is right. Tony, here's a straight for you, brother. Tony oversaw the future. He said, nah. I think this is my time to win.
It's in the picture. We saw what it was. He might have came out here and put it together for the team for a year, but we saw what it was when the pick came in. We knew instantly what was about to happen. We told you what was about to happen to the Pittsburgh Steelers once they made that pick. We told y'all. It was in there. The reaction told you the whole story. Tony's ain't ours. Yes, he saw it coming. But Ace, I don't know when the last time I've heard another brother refer to another brother as an African American in casual conversation. I ain't heard that since the Jamie Foxx show was on.
Aaron Clay, $5 super chat. Just got in. Where is Guru? Is he dodging that BBB work still?
Here's the thing: the curse is still alive until he owns up for it. Like the longer he waits, the longer the curse is out there. And if Guru don't ever come back, man, y'all gonna be dealing with that big booty beat down curse until somebody pays that debt. But the bill is due. The bill is due.
So by the way, for context, Guru messaged us like half an hour or an hour before the show started that he has some work to do. And to move it Saturday, we just couldn't. So I told him, he has the link. He might have and squeak by here at some point. But he said that he probably won't. Anyway, hey, I'll finish with this. Steelers, that was nasty work. Can be losing at home to, as my daughter was saying, Bobby, I thought the Steelers weren't that bad. And I said, look, they just lost at home to 2 out of the worst 3 teams. The Panthers are the only worse team than these 2 teams that they lost to. So it's nasty work. Skywalker here says Mike Tomlin is the NFL's version of Doc Rivers. Doc has the one. Yeah, you know what?
This is nasty.
You know what?
Hey, if this were the NBA, Mike Tomlin would have been out of there a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because they don't be caring about what you did and what a championship in the NBA. They was like, nah. Like Frank Vogel coaches for a different team now. Like that's nuts. He won a championship 3 years ago. Yeah. And nobody's mad about it. Is the crazier thing. Like Ace is quite fine.
Nobody blink. Ray Rack here says the fact that the Browns fans were trying to tell you, Steelers fan, we know what ass QB looks like when we see them.
Should have listened, dog. Should have listened.
Irvin here says, I'm Superman. I tuned in today to watch Q and Guru, and I'm a Ravens fan. Guru is a super win for not showing up. Again,
he at work. Yeah, he works for NBA TV. And they're doing the in-season playoff stuff. So, it's a media day. It's kind of like an all-star weekend is what they're trying to turn that into. So he's legitimately busy. It's a fortunate schedule for him, for sure. But you know what, man? Hey, we waited a week for it, and then we let it marinate, and it turned into something sweeter. Oh, I'm willing to bet that, eventually the bill gonna come due. The bill gonna come due with Guru. He gonna be here. Don't worry. He gonna be here.
By the way, he attached a super sticker to this comment and says, this is for Q being insanely hilarious and the great lead on the Pickens route chart.
His route chart looked like a signature.
Dude, I don't know if you saw the report that Mike Tomlin. It was bad. It was bad.
Looked like sign here. Like that's what this route chart.
Well, it had the one big line and a bunch of little squiggly lines here. That's it. It's just look.
And they said he was better than Jamar Chase.
That's when you talk crazy like that, right? Like you.
Hey man, we just saw Jamar Chase put a whole team on his back.
Yes, sir. So what?
Our Pickens could do the same, man.
Hey man, George Pickens can't even get the ball, dog. Like.
So Ravens Nation said Carolina wishes they could play the Steelers too. That's true.
Everybody's trying to play. Like, that feeling because it's happened to, I don't know if it's happened to the Ravens, but I know for a fact it's happened to the Browns and it's happened to the Bengals where there have been runs where we have realized, we the food of the month. Like, we who everybody want to play. It was Arizona when they was starting Clayton Tune. Remember how everybody wanted Arizona? That's who Pittsburgh is. Oh, yeah, let's get it.
We had that year, too. We had those years.
Yeah, I tell you, it ain't fun. It ain't fun because none of these teams take you lightly because they understand that there is money at the balance because that's how they're going to hit their contract incentives. You about to get some crazy efforts from some dudes on contract years in the next few weeks. Pittsburgh.
Anybody that had an incentive, this is it.
Oh, yes. Michael Pittman Jr. about to be playing his ass off next week.
Yeah, you know what? Minshew's probably gonna be like, look what I did against that Steelers
trying to hit them contract escalators.
Hey, dog, you know how bad you got to be if you're like, hey, man, we saw what DTR and Bailey Zapp did to us. I don't know if we want to see what Gardner Minshew popped into.
Because I would say for everything you want to say about Minshew's a competent quarterback.
Yeah,
Minshew's borderline starter.
James Steichen might be one of the best in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they got a good run game. Ooh.
Yeah. He's definitely a good coach. It's Austin says Gurus capping.
Y'all see him at work. He work on NBA TV. Like y'all seen him before. Y'all know he's not lying.
Yeah. So one thing I was gonna say, George Pickens had to be brought down a little bit emotionally by Mike Tomlin multiple times, is what reports are saying.
Isn't there something else we said? Well, we thought he was gonna knock Claypool out. That didn't happen. Maybe he's gonna knock one of the coaches out.
Yeah,
one of the coaches.
Hey,
it's gonna be interesting off season over there in Pittsburgh.
So that George Pickens trade going to hit crazy, dog. It's going to hit crazy in March.
Check his Instagram bio.
Wait till you get to week 18 and you get one. Remember when the Browns got to week 18? Come get me. You about to hear George Pickens talk trash to a corner. Hey, bro, wait till I'm traded. It's not gonna be like this no more. Wait till I'm traded.
Carrie here says, "Go Browns, squealers stink."
Absolutely.
Okay, we have
look,
else to
nothing brought everybody's spirits up like the Steelers lost. Like, look, people in Cleveland were like down bad. Oh no, I don't know what this week gonna be. The Steelers lost, and it felt like a win. It felt like the Browns won. That's how much we hate them. like your misery is as good as our success.
I mean, that's factual.
Hey, people in Ohio ain't felt this good since Appalachian State beat Michigan. You know, it's the NFL version of it. It is not even close because Michigan's nowhere near. I mean, Pittsburgh's nowhere near Appalachian State. I mean, Michigan.
Anything else y'all want to say about the game?
Hey, man, what happened to Pat Freiermuth?
He disappeared. Yeah, I mean, he was like a footnote.
Minka play?
I don't know. Minka made a play.
He made a good tackle at once that I can't remember.
Hey, TJ Watt Steckless
still better than Jesse Bates or no?
Jesse Bates playing good over there in Atlanta.
Hey, shout out to Jesse. Hey, I'm gonna be real though. Look at that division Jesse playing against. That is food for Jesse Bates every week. Ain't a single one not giving him food every week. All right.
They are.
You're talking about the Panthers giving them? You think the Panthers?
No, Jesse Bates showed up in Atlanta and then started playing against Desmond Ridder, and then they told him, Desmond Ridder is like the second best quarterback in this division. And he was like, "Oh, I'm about to get like 12 of them boys this year, and this is what they on."
Yeah, that division, great. You know. Right here, it's not how many bad QBs the Browns have had, and we were still able to get Josh Gordon to get 1,600 and Terrell Pryor to get 1,000+ receiving yards.
Yeah. Hashtag Brandon Whedon better.
Ooh. And then Brooke here says AFC North wins when the Steelers lose.
Oh, it's always just so funny when they lose. Like, they don't ever just lose regular. Like, that's the thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers. They always lose in ways that are absolutely hilarious. They kind of remind me of a team that used to do this stuff before 2018. Don't they remind you of one of those? I don't know what team it was, but it was a team in this division that used to do stuff like this. I'll remember them eventually, right?
See, the crazy thing is when the Steelers beat the Bengals, right? They talk about the schedule setting up nicely for them. They have two sub 500, which 2-win team at home. We're ready to push for the long run. We're ready for here now to push for the playoff.
It's shame on the media people who were the Steelers roared past the Bengals. They won by 6 points. They squeaked past the Bengals, but y'all was describing it like it was some kind of offensive explosion. Shame on you. Shame on any national media member that hyped up that little sad, pathetic preseason that they had. Shame on anybody who looked at this team and thought that they were going to be a good offense. Shame on you. You should be suspended from talking football for a year if you had any of these takes, because anybody paying attention looked at that and went, well, that looked like bullshit to me. Like, we all smelt it. That's the crazy part. We all smelt it. We took one big whiff of it and was like, yeah, that ain't real.
I'm gonna need Guru to bring that chart back up when he gets back and let me know what the Steelers' percentages of the playoffs are.
Hey, man. Remember Guru was flexing and he was like, yeah, see, he is better than Colt McCoy. No, you wish you had Colt McCoy. You better talk Colt McCoy out of retirement, brother. Like, it's your only chance to win a game. Like,
hey, I said to the Steelers fans that I was talking to, like, you know what? If you have the Joe Flacco that showed up for the Browns, you probably would have won that game.
Browns got like 4 quarterbacks we don't play it all better than them.
That's oof. Ben here says, which rivalry is worse? Bengals versus Ravens or Browns versus Steelers? I actually think the Bengals Ravens, at least now, it's a big rivalry.
Yeah, now it's kind of it's
the thing is the rivalries you conduct, at least this is my opinion. I know it's a hot take for some people. I hear sometimes teams they call example. I'm actually gonna talk about Baltimore. We here for 2 years, almost 3 years, said, we have a rivalry with the Kansas City Chiefs, right? That's from 2019 or whatever. And I used to say, look, for us to have a rivalry against the Chiefs, we need to beat them. We can't call a rivalry if they're always beating us. Like, this is not a rivalry. A rivalry has to be two-way street, right? Me saying that, I think that's why the Bengals and Ravens is not a bad rivalry, because in the past couple of years, it's a give and take, right? I mean, this year we swept them, but it's not like we sweeping every year, right? The Bengals have played good against us. They have beat us. We have beat them. And Browns and Steelers are in the same boat. I don't know if there's a bad rivalry right now. I don't know if there's going to be a bad rivalry going forward. But
is he saying like quality of the games, or is he saying like how intense it is, like in terms of hatred? Like, I don't know what he's trying to say.
Yeah, I don't know, Ben. I don't know what you're trying to allude here. So anyway, Ray Rack here said it was nice to hear that this was the most points in a first half the Steelers gave up at home since 2020 playoff. I wonder who that was against. I can't remember. Can you cue?
Was that the year they played? No. That wasn't the year they played the Chiefs. That was the year that they played the Cleveland Browns on NBC in front of 49.58 million people, according to Nielsen records. And the Browns beat that booty down. The Steelers really ain't been looked at the same since that day. Like, since Baker Mayfield came in there and did that to him, we ain't been looking at Pittsburgh like the same way that we looked at that Pittsburgh. It's really like that might go down as being the fundamental, like, oh, okay, this is when the steel curtain opened up. Because it really ain't been the same. Like, it's been a couple years of trying to hang on, but yeah, I think y'all gonna remember the stuff before 2020 than after it. You know what I mean? Like, hey.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the preview games that we have going on. Ravens, Rams. Should be a good game. Look, I'll start with this. It should be a good game. The Rams have been playing better, right? Like, if there was a time to get the Rams was early in the year. As the season has progressed, they had gone healthier. Puka has come out and to be a great receiver. And now you have Cooper Kupp. And Stafford looks like he is playing more healthy, more confident. The O-line looks better as well. But it's always tough to come on the road from west to east, or from east to west, as the Browns did last week. I think what the Ravens need to do, to be honest, is maintain that. And that's our weakest point currently, the run game, defensive run game. They need to contain the runs. They need to ensure that Williams is, hitting maybe 3 yards per carry, but you cannot let him go all crazy. If he goes all crazy, then you're going to start having problems, because then the play action will come into the effect, and then Puka is a legit receiver, and Cooper Kupp is also legit receiver, and then they still have the tight ends where they know how to use it. McVay's a great coach and will figure out how to exploit you, but it will start with the run. It will start with the run. He was joking around that he had him in fantasy. That's why he's giving him the ball so much. But it starts with the run, right? For the Rams, you need to make sure you control that. On the offensive side, it's the other way. You have to run the ball effectively. If you run the ball effectively, that's when you can just bring some of that you crush that spirit that they will have, right? What you don't want is to allow them to get momentum, to allow them to get some sort of we're hot, we're here, we're vibing, we're ready to take control of this game. That's what you cannot allow to this Rams team. So on defense, for the Ravens, ensure the run game is not present or very limited for the Rams. And then, they're going to do their thing on pass, but now you know what they're doing. On offense, start hot. That also will prevent the running game for them to take control because they will have to move to the passing side more. And Lamar and the receivers, you're coming from a bye week. For some reason, we usually look rusty in that first couple of drives. But Harbaugh has them ready. Harbaugh said also, we didn't take a bye as coaches. We've been having a game plan through the bye for this Rams team. I'm sure they have. So I think the Ravens win this game. I think it's going to be competitive. I think the Ravens win probably by a touchdown. But Ace, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, when I looked at the splits for this game, they heavily favor the Ravens. According to DVOA special teams, Rams are the worst unit in the NFL, which is kind of ironic. But there's no way in this game I feel like the Rams have any sort of advantage. You're playing Baltimore in Baltimore. That's tough. Baltimore is coming off of, a bye week when they're able to get healthy. Right now, they're the third team in EPA. They're the number one DVOA defense. I don't really like Matthew Stafford. If you watch me on the show, I'm not really a Matthew Stafford believer. It's hard for me to believe that he's going to be able to do something against this defense. But I will say, I do think that the Rams do have talent, right? When it comes to Kyron Williams, when it comes to Puka, when it comes to Cooper Kupp, I've talked about this, said similar things against the Browns. The only thing is this is a different situation in terms of the quarterback with Lamar Jackson, right? A guy that can get some offense going. And that was a beat-up Browns defense, right? Like the Ravens, in my opinion, I think that both of those teams, if you're saying fully healthy, they're pretty equal on defense. But, the Ravens right now, they are completely healthy, it seems like, for the most part. They have a clean bill of health. So how would that defense be able to take advantage of Matthew Stafford and try to shut those guys down? That remains to be seen, but we've seen them do it pretty well this season, especially when it comes to the pass defense that I will admit that I was not sold on coming into the season. They have proven me wrong. They haven't had Marlon Humphrey. It doesn't seem like it's mattered that they haven't had Marlon Humphrey. So they have the guys to try to take people away. You talk about Kyle Hamilton on Cooper Kupp. That's going to be a pivotal matchup, I think, in this game between those two. So I think Baltimore is going to pull this one out. I think if they were going to the West Coast, maybe that might help the Rams out a little bit. But I think Baltimore's on a mission, especially like all of the teams in this division after seeing Pittsburgh go down. Every team in this division is going to take this game a little bit more serious and try to get the win. So I think that Baltimore is going to win this one. It looks like someone's saying Marlowe is back now. So
yeah, for this game.
Oh yeah. So yeah, they're going to be fine. I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. I think the Rams are a decent team. I don't think that they're at that tier right now where they can beat some of those top teams in the NFL.
Q.
I just think that every hot streak comes to an end, and this feels like the end of the Rams' hot streak, right? Like they've had, a 4-game winning streak? Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Getting to 5 and 6 is just different, right? I just don't think that that's very likely. They're not a good enough team to get to 5 or 6 a game winning streak. So I think that the Ravens will win. I think the Rams are due for a bad performance. Ravens probably going to come out pretty slow in this game. It's going to be one of those games that doesn't get really pulled away from till the fourth quarter. But the Ravens are a better team, and even though the Rams are hot, you can't be hot for too long, right? Like, there's a reason that teams don't go on Super Bowl runs all the time because winning 5 games in a row is really, really difficult, right? Winning 4 in a row is really difficult. And I think that, it's about time for the Ravens to win this one.
Yeah, for the audience here, vote is 75-25 Ravens. Okay, let's talk about another game that I think it should be a good game here. The Browns and Jaguars, Q. The Browns, the Jaguars right now are listing Lawrence is questionable. Look, in my opinion, the Jaguars, other than completely collapse of the team, they're making the playoffs because after the next 2 games, the next 3 after that, they're fairly easy. We're talking about Panthers, Titans, and I forgot it was maybe the Falcons. So saying that, I don't know if you want to risk Lawrence against defense that it has underperformed the past couple of weeks in the Browns, but it's due, and you know what they're capable of. And then next to the Browns, you have the Ravens. So I almost lean that Lawrence is not playing. And if Lawrence is not playing, this is the game for the Browns to lose, in my opinion. But what do you think is going to happen in this game?
I think Lawrence is going to play.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, they got to win this one. They lost that Cincinnati one. They have to be in a win this one mindset, right? They got to win one of these 2 coming up. And then they got to win one of the last 3 or win them all. But they got to win this one. So, yeah, I think Trevor's going to play. He's practiced 2 times this week. He's going to play. And I expect him to be the full Trevor Lawrence. I just think that this game's going to come down to the defensive line, offensive line matchup. If the Browns win that matchup, they can win this game. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback for them. That's how they've played all year. I think that both DTR and Joe Flacco have showed that they aren't going to make the big mistake. Well, Joe Flacco did make the big mistake last week. But I think both DTR and Joe Flacco aren't going to be a disaster when it comes to turnovers, right? So since I trust those guys enough, I'm gonna go with the Browns here. I think that the Browns defensive line, we talk about the balance of like, okay, you've had a couple bad games in a row. When you're gonna get your good games going back again? Browns defensive line had a couple bad games in a row. I think they're gonna start looking like themselves, especially being back at home. And that's gonna be able to ride them to a very small, tight victory, probably another field goal game.
Yeah, look. This is a game, I think you hit it on the nail. Actually, for now on, guys, 99%, unless something happens, the Browns game are going to be trenches game. Can the Browns dominate on the trenches? If they do, they should win the game. If they don't, because the Browns schedule also looks favorable after this game, if I'm not mistaken, Q.
Well, they play the Bears, I believe, after this at home.
Yeah, and then the Texans is the good team, right?
Yeah.
And then the Jets and the Bengals, depending if they're pushing for the playoff spot or not. So set, you have essentially a playoff team, then Bears, and then another playoff team, then Jets, and then a potential playoff team on the Bengals, which is also a divisional rival. Again, all those games, if you win on the trenches, you should win this game. And I agree with you also, Q. Can the quarterback just be competent? Mm-hmm. You don't need hero ball from the quarterback. You just need game plan. Hey, if you move the ball a little and punt, let's play possession game. Let's play field position game. And this, if the defense is the defense of early in the year, I think you guys prevail. But Ace, What is your expectation of this game?
I think this is going to be a game that comes down to the last possession of the game, and whoever gets that last possession, whether it's a game-winning field goal or a touchdown drive, I think that's going to dictate who wins this game. Like, these are going to be 2 good teams. It's going to be really interesting because looking at the splits, you've got the number 1 pass defense at home in the Browns versus the number 4 passing offense on the road in Jacksonville. Then you also have a pretty decent Jacksonville run defense, but they just got killed by the Bengals. So what does that defense look like against Cleveland? Because we know that Cleveland's going to try to run the ball. They're going to enforce their will. And if they're able to do that, Cleveland, I believe, will win this game. Trevor Lawrence, I'm not sure what Trevor Lawrence we're getting. I think, like Q was saying, I think he does need to play in this game, given the circumstances of the season. But with him having the knee brace on that I saw, I'm not sure what Trevor Lawrence I'm getting. Also, another big injury was that they ended up losing one of their pretty much like outside of Calvin Ridley, their number one receiver in that game. A lot of people aren't really talking about that. And then you have Evan Ingram. Travis Etienne, from what I've heard from Jaguars fans, apparently is pretty banged up. That's why you didn't really see him much against the Bengals. Is that going to continue against the Browns, who are a tough defense? For the Browns, I just need to see, are they going to bounce back after being a little injured last week? I think now that you're able to get Denzel Ward back, you've got Myles Garrett, 2 weeks removed. Obviously, the shoulder's probably not going to fully heal, but obviously, the less weeks that you get or the more weeks you get away from it, the better that injury probably feels. They're going to have to lean on this defense and Myles Garrett to make some plays. The quarterback situation kind of concerns me because I don't know which guy we're going to see. Is it going to be DTR? Is it going to be Joe Flacco? That is kind of making this one up in the air for me. I would assume, and Q probably knows this way better than I do because I'm nowhere near near the ground on Cleveland, but I would assume that it would be Joe Flacco. But if it is DTR, I'm not sure what to really expect. Go ahead.
I would say this too, because I think Joe Flacco's the more familiar name, so people feel much better about that. But they did make DTR the backup to start the season, which indicates to me that they really do believe in that kid. And he did play well at the end of that Denver game, on track to bring him back before he went out. So I don't think that the idea of him playing is crazy, especially since he can add kind of a mobile element to the game. And okay, if it goes bad with the rookie, you can always plug in Joe Flacco. And it's better to space out your Joe Flacco starts anyways, because at 38, let's be real, you're not putting 8 straight weeks back to back. That's just crazy to ask somebody to do at age 38. So I don't think it's crazy. I think it's leaning towards Joe Flacco just because that's where the media wants it to be at now, or at least the local media is leaning. But I don't know. They've been wrong about this kind of stuff consistently when it comes to quarterback in the Cleveland Browns with this specific team. So I just think it's kind of a toss-up at this point.
Yeah, I think with that being said, I think that makes the game a toss-up for me. And the number one receiver that I'm talking about is Christian Kirk. Obviously, Calvin Ridley's better than Christian Kirk, so you could probably call him wide receiver one. But Christian Kirk is on IR; he's out of there. So I don't know. This one is a coin toss for me. With me not knowing who's the starter, I would say this: if Flacco is the starter, I think I like Cleveland. If it's DTR, I like Jacksonville. So depending on which one of those guys start, that's what I would put it on. But right now, the way things are leaning, if it is Flacco, I'm going with Cleveland.
Got it. Okay, we have a couple super chats here. We had Noah Stone that says Bengals only beat LJ once. LJ owns the Bengals/Browns. And then Ben says, I meant which one was more toxic rivalry.
Bengals Ravens for sure. That one is super toxic.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're all kind of toxic rivalry.
I mean the F Joe Burrow after he got injured and went down for the season, that was pretty toxic, bro.
Did you have a lot of
all
that?
I'm saying is if Deshaun Watson would have went down on the season against Pittsburgh, you would have heard some stuff in that stadium from Pittsburgh fans.
Mighty Mulatto says, Ace, glad to see the Bengals aren't roadkill.
You and me both, bro, because that was going to be tough.
No, I saw your fresh to death birthday picture. I was like, the Bengals ain't losing
today. Sammy Football says Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph.
Did we just chant for Mason Rudolph?
Yes, he just.
I couldn't believe I found myself siding with Juju Smith-Schuster of all people last night. Wanting to beat the Steelers. I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, here we are, Juju. First it was at the 50. Now we're on the same side.
Brother, the Steelers defense revived Ezekiel Elliott. I was like, is this Ohio State?
Zeke played out of his mind. I'm like,
I love how people
nice.
are saying that, but if you look at the box score, he ran for like 3.4 yards.
No, but
that's how bad it's been with Zeke.
And he was like, "Yeah, I had to show the people I still got it."
But where he was better was in the passing game.
In the passing game, for sure. Yeah, receiving game for sure.
No. He's been like a 2-yard per carry back. Like that's kind of like what it's been with him.
To be fair,
extra yard and a half meant something to Zeke, man. Like,
to be fair, the best play he had, I would go back to in that interception because the guy was gone and Zeke hustled back and brought him down.
Oh yeah, and Amari Cooper might play. I don't know if anybody got to that, but Amari Cooper might play. He practiced today, so he has a chance to clear protocol. He probably will.
Okay. Because he was in concussion, right?
Yeah, but he got the one practice in, which means he has 2 days to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he good. If he got the practice in, he good.
By the way, the fans had the Browns 70%, Jags 30.
But Elijah Moore been cooking. I'm just gonna put that out there. Elijah Moore been averaged about 60 yards per game.
If Flacco's playing, it looks like Flacco does favor Moore.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
For sure.
Elijah's probably there.
And you said that.
I think both quarterbacks can win this game. I don't really think there's much of a difference, but I think that it's better than seeing PJ Walker enter, right? Like, I think that both those quarterbacks will be fine.
Who was the one that said that when Flacco threw the ball, it was like poetry?
I don't know. Was that Elijah Moore?
It might have been Moore. I don't know.
As a Browns fan, I've heard people say crazy shit about Cody Kessler throwing the ball. I don't care what players say about what they felt like somebody threw the ball as. They be lying all the time. I remember RG3 came in there, was like, yeah, man, he looks like he did when he was a rookie. Shut up. That is not how RG3 looked at 26. Yeah. Players be lying to themselves and to us all the time about what these dudes be looking like in practice. I know you've heard them lies, Ace, where somebody told you something ridiculous. You're like, shut up. No way that's true. Absolutely not. Oh, yeah. AJ Green was out there looking
at everybody in practice. I heard that a couple times. John Ross everybody in practice.
Who?
John Ross.
John Ross is cooking everybody in practice.
Yeah, he's lying. Oh, yeah, he been killing it. You know who we were saying that? They said that about DTR, too. Where it's like, hey, man, he was killing us, pretending to be Lamar Jackson, the scout team. Like, hey, shut up. I don't believe none of this. Like, nobody should believe none of this, man. They just be saying shit. They doing what you do for your homeboy, which is lie slightly. You know what I mean? Like, they doing the homeboy lies when they talk to us about them.
So the chat is saying Amari Cooper was the one that said it.
Yeah, Amari Cooper. Look, he don't like DTR because DTR don't throw that thing to him as much. That's the thing. With Amari Cooper would much rather have PJ Walker in there. DTR throw that thing to him hard. He don't like that. Nah. That's why Amari's saying that. Like, and that's why Elijah is saying that. But you know who's not? David Njoku, because he loved him. He loved him with DTR in there because he be eating.
Yeah, he be eating. Okay, so let's go to the final game. There's no primetime. Well, I guess the primetime was the one that just happened, but there's no other primetime game in the North. But Bengals Colts, a lot of playoff implication in that game, right? Like if the Bengals win, the Bengals win, they bring the Colts down to their record, right, to 7-6, because they will have the win. It makes the Bengals now in a tie for that 7th seed. Yeah, for that 7th seed will be a massive tie for the 7th seed. So big game here. Ace, your expectations for this game?
Yeah, I think that this is a must win. I think expectations going into this, if you're a Bengals fan, if you're the Bengals, is that this is a must win game. Sonny always talks about all the time the importance of your record against AFC teams. You get the opportunity to take on a lot of teams that are going to be in this race that you're going against, and that AFC conference record is going to matter, right? And for them to get this game at home, especially coming off of the primetime performance that they just had, squeaking out a win against the Jaguars that nobody thought that you were going to win. This is a team in the Colts that you cannot look past. This Colts team, if the playoffs were to start tomorrow, would be in the playoffs. They're a team that really has a lot of similarities to the Bengals, whereas as soon as their starting quarterback went down, they rallied around a backup, and they're making a push to see if they can still make it, right? This game is going to come down to a lot of things, the trenches. I believe the Colts have a lot of guys that might not be big names. However, they are second in the league in sacks, and there's some guys on that line, Abukum. I believe another one is Buckner. Some of these guys that might not be big names, but they have a ton of sacks, double digits. Bunch of guys with double-digit sacks. This game is going to be won in the trenches. And in order for the trenches for the Bengals to step up. I think the game plan needs to be very similar to what it was last week, and that's playing balanced football, because that is not going to allow them to just pin their ears back and rush the passer, which is a way that can wreck this game and wreck this offensive game plan for the Bengals. And so what I expect them to do is run the ball. This is a team in the Indianapolis Colts that's 30th in the league on run defense. You just had some success with Joe Mixon and Chase Brown last week, combining for 157 yards. Continue to do that. That is what your offense needs to go through. But then this is also a pass defense that has a lot of young players in the secondary, right? They've got a 7th-round corner starting. They've got another guy, I think Juju Brents. I liked him in the draft. I don't think he's going to play because he's been banged up. But they are susceptible at the corner position. You have to feed Jamar Chase once again in this game, and I think this is also a game that you get T. Higgins going. T. Higgins has been up and down for the most part because of the injuries. You give him last week to get comfortable, but I think this week you start to open that game plan and start to go to T. Higgins. I think Jake Browning loves going to Jamar Chase, so I expect that to continue. Feel bad for the corner of the Colts because they are going to be going right at him. And I think that that's a big strategy. The other strategy is on the other side of the trenches, Trey Hendrickson. He's got to be able to get to that quarterback because Gardner Minshew under pressure and when blitzed is one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. When you get him under pressure, when you get into the backfield, he's turning the ball over. I believe he has 5 interceptions when he has pressure or he is blitzed in that situation. That's what his numbers look like. His TD ratio, his turnover ratio goes all the way into the negative for them. So that's going to be a key in this game. And then the big thing is Braden Smith is out of this game, the right tackle. A lot of people might not know him. He's one of the best tackles, right tackles at least in the NFL. So him being out of this game is definitely going to make them susceptible potentially there. So maybe that's where you try to get some pressure from Sam Hubbard or maybe even Myles Murphy on that situation, because they don't really move Trey Hendrickson like that. So defensive line is going to have to come to play in this one. And then from a defensive perspective, the Bengals defense has just been giving up a lot of yardage, a lot of points, especially to Jacksonville. Look to see them try to reduce that. Even though that this looks like a team that really runs the ball, the Colts haven't actually ran the ball that much. They've really been more of a passing team with Gardner Minshew, even though they have a pretty good run game there. So I expect the Bengals to try to focus on stopping the running backs, but the biggest person that's going to be a big target for them is Michael Pittman. He's having a good season for them. He's got about 30% of the target share, rightfully so. But they also have some other young receivers that might not be big names, but you might be familiar with them. Alec Pierce played at UC. He's going to be getting a homecoming going back to Cincinnati. So they're going to have him a part of the game plan. And then you got Josh Downs there. And then you got Granson, the tight end, who actually is flying a little bit under the radar. So they do have a team where they can light you up through the air. We saw it with Gardner Minshew last week throwing over 300 yards. So they cannot continue to give up those big plays. And in order to stop those, they are going to have to get to Gardner Minshew. He's also fumbling a lot. Surprisingly, I think if you get to him and try to sack him, there's a chance he could fumble. He's responsible for, I believe, like 57% of the fumbles for the Colts this season. So winning the turnover battle is definitely going to matter. Playing strong defense, playing solid defense, bend but don't break defense is going to be another one. And then playing balanced offense. And if you can do that at home, get the crowd going. The crowd's going to be energized because now there's the feeling in Cincinnati that you're not completely dead. And Jake Browning, I don't need him to go out there and throw for another 300 yards. Honestly, I'll take 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. As long as he does not turn the ball over, I think the Bengals can squeak this out with a win. But it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. It's probably could be a coin flip. But I do like the Bengals just with the momentum that they have, them believing in themselves. I think that they pull out this win against the Colts.
I will say this before I throw the cue. The question for me, I had 2 things. What defense for the Bengals shows up? Is it a good defensive on the running side? Because the Colts feed from that running game. Taylor's not there, but Moss is there, right? And Moss has had a good year. Actually, I was surprised when they signed Taylor because Moss had a great year so far. So what defense does it show up, right? Because you want to have Brownie in the point that he can feel comfortable. You're not demanding from him to do too much to win the game. You want to give the game close, right? When the Colts play the Patriots, they score, I think, like 10 or 12 points, something like that. But when they play weak defenses, they have weapons. As Q's was saying, the coaching staff for the Colts is really good. So they know how to exploit. This is a game of Lou, Mr. Lou, because I think it's up to him to control this offense. Can he control the offense to, let's say, 14, 18 points, right? Around there. Because I think the Bengals can score 21 against them. So can the defense control this game and have it to 18 or lower for the Colts? And if they do, I think they win. Q, what do you think?
The Colts have won 4 straight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they win 5 straight. I think this is what this comes down to. I think they're due up for a bit of a slow burn kind of game. Defensively, they were a bit of a mess versus the Titans, who are bad offense. They really didn't get to the quarterback. If they weren't able to do that against them, this is going to be the same kind of story against Cincinnati. I think that the Colts, they're going to play a close game. That's who they've been the last 4 weeks. But I do think the Bengals get this, and would that put the Bengals at 7-6?
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I give this to the Bengals. The Colts are a good team, but similar to LA, they're not a good enough team where I could be like, you're going to win 5 in a row. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing to say. So I think the Colts end up dropping this one.
Yeah, I think this is the opportunity that the Bengals have had in the sense that they are essentially because what the Steelers did, a game away for being in a tie with a bunch of teams for the 7th seed, right? And after that is who blinks first, right? Yes,
if
you basically
AFC North gets 3 teams in with 2 of those teams with backup quarterbacks.
That'd be crazy.
Crazy.
That would be crazy. We know who team doesn't look like it's coming, but can the other 2 make the push, right? Guys, we'll be here on Tuesday checking how this game came by. Maybe Guru will be here. And if Guru comes, we can relive this because it's still, it's part of the preview for the preview.
Hey, look. It's a lot of football left for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we going to have time. We going to have that offense ain't changing. It ain't changed all season. We know what it is.
Don't get worse, dog. Don't get worse.
Hey, look, he got time.
Anyway, guys, make sure you like, subscribe. Also put the comments. Give us your score prediction on the comment section. I think we have a super chat. Did we get him? We get Wayrack? After watching most of the top teams in the NFL struggle at some point, makes me as a Browns fan so mad that we has so many injuries to key stars on offense when no team looks unbeatable. There's no unbeatable team this year.
Still no unbeatable team. So
yeah,
that means you're still in it, right?
I agree. Anyway, y'all, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace out.